First of all, the penalty destroyed the Croatian game plan.
Okay.
Completely. And it shouldn't have been a penalty had the referee gone to the VAR.
I see.
Why do I say that? When we all saw the replay, Livaković came out, made himself big and was static. He was in position. It was Alvarez's momentum that caused him to come and crash into the goalkeeper. That's what the benefit of the replay and benefit of VAR gives us. And if that is the case, it shouldn't have been a penalty. If you insist that that was a penalty, then Alvarez's goal, his first goal, had he not scored, that would also have been a penalty. Because when he put the ball in the back of the net, he ended up crashing into the goalkeeper, which is also a foul. And had that been another penalty, that would have been a red card for Livaković. But clearly nobody is talking about that because that in football is not a foul. If I'm standing there and you follow through and in your momentum you come and you hit me, it's not a foul any day. In real time, I was looking at the ball. But when I turned and I saw the clash of bodies, I thought it was a penalty. But once the replay came in and Livaković comes, he stands big, he stands tall. Yes, he misses the ball, but he didn't make an action to impede Alvarez. Alvarez's momentum is what took him through to Livaković to hit him. And once that happened, the Croats had to open up and search for a goal. But before that, the game was in their hands. They had the ball, they were controlling. Argentina hadn't created anything, you can tell. They hadn't created anything. Messi was struggling to find the positions in which he would be dangerous. The bodies were crowding him anytime he had the ball. So the game plan was going clearly according to plan. It was a very well crafted game plan by Zlatko Dalic. But unfortunately, once the penalty came in, it came in 35th minute. At that point in time, you are telling yourselves that let's quickly try and get back into this game, at least get an equalizer before halftime. And if you saw the defending for the second goal, the amount of bodies they had committed for it, allowing Argentina to have that space in the counter-attack, I just feel like the penalty changed the entire game. But yes, you beat what's in front of you. You can look at it again. Funny enough, I don't know why the highlights doesn't capture the replay, but it's interesting. Livaković stands and it's Alvarez who runs into him. If anything, it should be a foul for Croatia.
So do you agree?
I disagree.
You disagree?
And the thing is, because he's right, the keeper doesn't move. But the problem is, once it's like the keeper has come forward and stands there, and it's like he's kind of flicked the ball around you, and he's still running, and you're in the way, and he can't get around you. 9 times out of 10, the referee will give a foul. I understand what Daniel is saying perfectly, but more often than not, these are given as penalties.
The question is it or is it not? It's not what is the precedence. Is it or is it not?
So if you were handling
but that's how it works. But that's the precedent. The precedent is that this is a penalty 9 times out of 10.
So if you were handling this game, you would have called this as a penalty.
Because it's given as that's the point I'm making. That you can say the keeper didn't move. I agree with you. He didn't move. But once you come out, you try and make yourself big, and they kind of flick the ball around you, and you are right here. They'll give a penalty because the idea is you are obstructing the attacker from getting to the ball that he's flicked beyond you.
No, the attacker shot. That's what the replay will show you. He didn't hit it around him hoping to go back. Okay. He shot. And it was a poor shot.
Okay, so here's the replay. So we see replay. Alvarez gets it.
That doesn't look like a shot to me.
This is it. Look.
This doesn't look like a shot.
Livaković is there. He comes to crash into Livaković. Look at the legs.
It doesn't look like a shot.
He comes to crash into Livaković.
So what if somebody argues and says that if you look at that touch taken by Alvarez, that touch is not strong enough to be a shot? What if he was trying to tee it up, go around the goalkeeper, and
if he was trying to tee it up and go around the goalkeeper, there was a defender who had covered it. It was a shot, and it was a poor shot.
It wasn't a shot. That one day, if you want to say it's a shot, if that's
so
what
he was lifting it over the goalkeeper.
He was trying to move it, flick it past him. That doesn't look like a shot to me. Why? Alvarez, who you said is a good finisher, suddenly he looks at that ball clear, and then he just kind of that's a
he's
shot.
Trying to lift it past him and go past Lovren.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That looked more like he was trying to go around the keeper.
If he was
trying to touch the ball, right? I see you approaching. The ball bounces. I know, okay, you are too close for me to lob the ball. No problem. So I'll touch it, get round you, and then complete the chance. In my mind, I've got enough skill.
Look at the space between the goal and the goalkeeper.
Yes.
If this happened outside the box or further behind, it makes sense. But the guy shot. You can't tell me he was.
That's definitely not a shot.
Look, let's look at it. Let's look at it.
So the ball comes in. The ball comes in. Alvarez, the touch is not in question. It is whether he was shooting or not. Daniel, you say it's a shot.
He's trying to lob the keeper. How can't you see this?
How is he trying to lob the keeper? That's a lob. He's not trying to hide.
Daniel, I'm just asking. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. So okay, now let's.
No, don't play the devil's advocate. You give me your verdict on this.
Personally, what I saw.
Yes.
I think he attempted lobbing the goalkeeper.
He attempted lobbing the goalkeeper.
What's your
problem?
That doesn't look like a shot. I feel like there's lack of power and the lack of conviction doesn't.
Because he didn't catch it well.
The lack of power clearly means he didn't catch it well.
He can't possibly be trying to flick it around the goalkeeper with that close to pull. If he was trying to do that, then he's a bad finisher. If that was
that's why I think he was trying to do. Honestly, I did not see that as a shot to me.
No,
that's my
I think we can all
opinion of
interpret. Because personally, when I saw the action evolve in my head, the first thing I said was Alvarez lob the goalkeeper, because in that situation, that's the only thing you can do.
That's what you.
If he had flicked it around,
doesn't seem to be doing that. No, seriously, because if that's his attempt at a lob, it's so bad that I can't see it as a lob. Maybe if that's where we are
judging the technique. If he was trying to flick the thing, he would have hit it around. He did this. He tried. The close-up will show you. He literally lobbed the ball past the goalkeeper. It was just. Look at this. Look at the technique. Look at how he's hitting the ball.
If you ask me
can't be a flick.
Personally, if I still say it was a lob, because I don't think he counted for, or in his mind, he probably didn't imagine the defenders getting there. So probably he must have thought a gentle touch, because the keeper is out, any slight touch gets the ball across the line.
For me, because of how he hit it and the lack of power, I can't see it as a shot. Okay. It's different if we had more power and it was flying
on the edge of the 6-yard box. How can he be trying to flick around the goalkeeper? Maybe he was trying
to. Why he can't try around the keeper?
If he's trying to do that, then he's a very bad player.
But do you know why I disagree? Okay, even Neymar's goal, he kind of shifted it right in the 6-yard box.
The ball was on the floor.
But that's the point I'm making to you.
This is different.
Why can't he try and do the same thing with the ball in the air?
This is football we are talking about. It's not hypothesis. This is football. The ball is on the ground.
And we are seeing it right now.
When the ball is in the air, it is much more difficult to get it under control, to flick it. If it's further behind, that's when you can rob the keeper. Have enough time to go past.
If it's in the air and the keeper is right there and you want to finish, that's the least convincing finish of all. And if Alvarez, and that's the thing, we've talked about Alvarez's finish. It's not convincing finish.
What is in Alvarez's mind? Like I'm saying, the ball breaks. He sees Livaković approaching. Maybe he doesn't even see Lovren and whoever going behind the goalkeeper as the shield. So he says that if I touch this, see the goalkeeper is out. So any slight touch,
I'll even be surprised he didn't see Lovren, and he would definitely know they are there.
Okay, fair point.
That's my point.
So if he knows they are there, how is he trying to flick it on the edge of the 6-yard box, thinking
that's
he can
definitely a shot to me.
Okay, no problem. So you say penalty, good decision. Daniel, you say bad decision. There was another. I thought I saw the referee trying to yank out a red card.
You know what? Let's look at his goal, Alvarez's goal. That's Argentina's second goal.
Yes.
What happened there? And I want to answer this question. Had he missed, would that also have been a penalty? Let's see his second.
Maybe our producers can move it on to the second goal. But okay, so at this point, Daniel, you say that this was the seminal moment in the game. It changed the game.
It changed the game completely.
Okay, now let's go back to what I said a few minutes ago about Croatia. Were you guys surprised at Croatia's approach up until this goal was scored?
No. That was a perfect game plan.
Not at all. I'm talking about when it looked like they were attacking the Argentines and getting more on the ball. I could be wrong. Maybe I read it.
For me, I didn't see it as they were attacking. They were just dictating play because there were spaces and there were opportunities for them to react. But they were not here. They were not being proactive.
In a lot of space, and they
didn't find him. I think if they were looking to impose themselves and get a goal, they would have done that. I think they were just managing the situation and being as balanced as.
Did we see a lot of this side to the Croats in previous games? Maybe recency bias is affecting me. Maybe I'm looking at that extra time against Brazil, maybe against Japan. But I was very surprised at their approach and the fact that they were dictating play. I thought they would be the Argentines rather who would be more on the ball and try to create.
I thought that they would try, but I think because of the quality of their midfield and their midfield not being as good as the Croatians in terms of controlling the ball, they wanted to, but they couldn't.
Okay.
It was not a choice by Argentina to have less of the ball in the beginning. Later on, it definitely was. But at that point, before they scored the goal, it wasn't a choice.
Okay, we'll come back to this goal in a bit there. But now we are trying to see whether or not Alvarez was trying. So this is it. This Alvarez beyond.
This is his goal.
This is his goal.
So this would have been a penalty.
That looked more confident. Do you see how much more power that was in that one?
No, I'm not talking about the shot.
No, but
after the ball was played and the goalkeeper was in a static position, had he hit the post, would that have been a penalty?
But look at how much more convincing this shot was.
I'm not talking about the shot.
I'm giving
the premise is on the penalty.
No, I'm making a point that for me that was a shot. Look at how look at even how the ball hit.
Let's look at this.
That's a lot more power.
Had he hit the post and gone into the keeper, would that have been a penalty?
I wouldn't have given that.
But that's the same.
But that one, I can clearly say that he shot. I would say he shot then.
Okay, so there are two
It
things.
looked like a shot to me. I did the first one. Didn't look like a shot.
Okay. So two things. First of all, would you have called that because he clattered into the goalkeeper and the follow through? Would you have called this as a penalty?
The second one. This one. No, because I could. For me, this looks like a shot. I can see he shot. In my opinion, the first one I said is a penalty because it didn't look to me like he shot.
Okay.
Look, it's the same action. I come out, I make myself big. You see the inconsistency?
It's not the same action.
I make myself big. I've told you hit the ball past me and you run into me.
It's not the same. It's not the same action. One, he shot. If he shot already, the keeper has not stopped him from shooting. In the first one, if it's a touch, the keeper has obstructed him from getting to the ball and trying to shoot. If you shoot and you miss, it won't be a penalty. That's the point I'm making. Okay, for me, so now, on the second one, that looks like a shot to me. The first one doesn't look like a shot to me. And that's the point.
You know the consistencies of penalties.
I get it.
If I'm a striker and I'm running away from goal and I tip the ball past the defender and he clatters into me, I wasn't going to score. The ball was going away from goal.
But they will still give a penalty.
It's a foul. If I'm going towards goal, it's a foul. A foul is a foul. A foul doesn't matter where you are going or if it was a shot or not. A foul is a foul. And I'm saying that once the goalkeeper didn't make that forward movement to intentionally try and impede him, once he came out, made himself big, do you want him to become transparent? He can't. All he can do is to stand big and tall. And whatever you do after is your problem. I think the referee, it would have been a foul if it wasn't a short situation. Had he been further away and had the goalkeeper made a movement to try and stop him. Once I come and I make myself big and you hit it past me,
but
and
the
you
coming
run
to make
into
yourself
me,
big is to try and stop him.
Why
did he come? Yeah, but it's the same thing.
You see, if you're trying to stop the man and the ball goes past you, you make a movement to intentionally try and stop the man. But once I come out and I make myself, it's different from defenders intentionally standing in the way to block. He came out to make a save. And once he's done this and the ball flies past him, and you run into me. Not that.
But he also moved towards him.
No, he didn't.
He moved towards him.
He stood there and he ran into
How would he have been there? Why wasn't he on his line? He moved towards him.
I've seen the replay
He
6
moved towards him.
times. How did he move towards him?
You are saying that if he moved towards him, why was he in front of him? He moved towards the ball. He moved towards him.
Alvarez was moving in this direction. Livaković was there already. He ran into him.
He moved towards him.
Okay, so you're talking about, we are still on this first goal.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's
say
look
you see the last replay what that shows the leg contact.
Kind of does this to try and spread himself. It's deep that you obstructed him.
Personally, Daniel, if you ask me, I think what may have made the referee's decision was probably Livakovic's body posture.
He didn't look at the replay, so nothing would have made his decision. He saw it in real time and he decided
That's what I'm saying. So maybe
had he looked at the replay, I'm very sure he would have changed.
He didn't have to look at the replay.
He had to.
He doesn't have to. You know how you see you keep saying this. There's a way, there's a VR procedure.
You see,
that you are asking him to do. The VR is supposed to see if there's a mistake and tell him.
Let's bend that procedure. Because if we continue using this is how it is done. We'll never get to the bottom of things. You can use that same explanation for what happened against Ghana and Portugal. Yeah. What is wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter how they do it. What is wrong is wrong. He should have looked at a replay. Whether he was able to explain what he thought he saw or not. A replay shows us a completely different question.
Okay, so
had he watched the replay and the referee watched the replay between, look at the leg movement I'm talking about. How is Livaković? His leg was planted in the ground. So how is he moving? Look, he runs into him. Or you can't see.
If your leg is like this is how you naturally stand. No, seriously, is this how you naturally stand? No, seriously,
if you are running in this direction, I'm saying the keeper
first of all, he moved
and planted his leg in the ground.
You do this.
You run into me.
Okay, no, but
first of all, he moved towards him. He spreads himself as wide as possible.
If you watch the play as he develops, Livaković comes off his line. Then he does this very awkward motion where, like,
he's trying to spread himself kind of wide to block the pass.
What will help all of us is if we stop playing this real-time thing. Let's just cut that portion of the replay.
And we do a freeze frame.
Not a freeze frame. The slow motion. The last two angles of the slow motion. Let's just watch it and see who ran into who. Whether somebody moved his leg to impede somebody, or somebody was standing there and was running.
I agree that the keeper didn't move, but he also spread himself
as
wide as possible.
Had he missed, it also would have been a penalty. That's all I'm saying, because it's the same thing.
Okay, so I think what can help is if our producers
I
can,
feel like he spread himself as
slow,
wide as possible.
If they can slow the replay down and then we can digest it in phases.
This is a foul on the keeper.
How? Someone has tried to spread himself as wide as possible to stop someone running towards goal.
Okay, so we are looking. Wow. Look, in real time, it looked. But then I kind of agree with that. This is what I think. I feel that maybe the VR protocol must be looked at. So, for example, if a referee sees something and players protest, he can say, you know what, I'm going to have a look.
But do you know why they've done that? Because people are complaining that VR takes too long. They are trying to. This is the same complaint that Paul had.
So
it's taking too
speed
long.
over accuracy. That's what we want. We want the game to move so fast that we intentionally overlook decisions that are supposed to be taken.
But overlook it. There's three referees there checking if it's a mistake.
Had the referee gone to the replay between Ghana and Portugal, do you think he would have changed his mind?
I think so.
So we want the game to hurry up and finish.
Oh, no. I mean, you're asking me, do I think he would have changed this?
Everybody who saw that replay, initially we were all skeptical.
Yes.
But once we saw the replay, we all saw that Salisu got the ball. So referee, why aren't you going there? You are telling me because the protocol says
but
he's able to explain.
and I'm saying that I agree with you because I feel that if the referee had gone to see it, he would have seen
so whatever reason they give for that,
but
it's wrong. What is wrong is wrong.
Me, I'm surprised because there's other referees there overseeing this. And they all agree it's a penalty.
So on this premise, what you are telling us is that everything that VR does is correct. That's what you are telling me. That once a decision is given and once the VR exists, whether a referee goes to the bench or not, he's right. Because there are three referees.
So we have it slowed down even further. Now let us see for ourselves. I guess we all have our entrenched positions. Hopefully
it's not even an entrenched position.
Okay,
it's far from
let's
But my point is, my point is that he's obstructing the guy, as per how I see it.
That's okay.
Even if it doesn't matter whether he's once he's trying to make himself as wide as possible.
This
he's
is
obstructing the guy.
Okay. That's how I see it. I'm already planted in my position. Look at the momentum.
Wait, Daniel, you wait. So we first, so at this point, Alvarez is about to take the touch. He's about to, in your opinion, shoot. So in your opinion, touch and go round.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move it on. And so he touches it.
Who hits who? Who hits who? You explain to me what is happening there. Who is hitting who? Is it the goalkeeper who is going to clatter him, or his momentum is taking him into the goalkeeper who is standing there trying to do his job?
If he hadn't made himself as wide as possible, they wouldn't have hit him.
So he should stand like this.
When that's the point. You are blocking him. But that's the point. You are blocking him. But that's the point. You are blocking. Once you make yourself as wide as possible, you can't say that the guy ran into you. You literally try to make yourself as wide as possible. What do you expect? If you are making yourself wide, you are literally
but we've seen,
actively putting yourself in his way.
Players, for example, and Jamie Vardy is the best example. We see what they do, where they
flick it round and they run into the keeper.
Even what they do with defenders, where they go past the defender and somehow manage to generate contact where if you looked at it critically, you realize that the defender is not even sticking out a leg or making a motion, but you see the player go down anyway and the ref gives a penalty.
Yeah.
Now, I ask this question because when I look at this from this angle, maybe this changes something, but I'm looking at it, and I'm beginning to get convinced Alvarez actually goes into Livaković.
Look at this. His leg is planted.
That's Alvarez's tie.
You see, my whole point about this thing is, if you are running, if someone is running at you, and you've done your body like this, right? It's not like you are just stand. You've spread your body as wide as possible. That is what is going against
a defender. That's a goalkeeper.
It doesn't matter.
That's how he makes it save.
But it doesn't matter.
So once you've got the ball past you, sorry that your shot was poor.
You see, but it doesn't matter once you are spreading yourself as wide as possible, even if you are standing still. Because I don't disagree that he's standing still. Once you spread yourself as wide as possible, what's the referee seeing? You are trying to block him.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So you are refereeing a game. Yeah. I'm the goalkeeper. Daniel is put through one-on-one, and I'm standing. I come off my line, right? And Daniel attempts to lob the ball. Mm-hmm. Now, I see that he's trying to lob the ball. So say I jump. Let's say I open myself up and I do the star jump. Now, after Daniel lobs the ball, he lobs the ball and runs into me. Whilst I'm standing, let's say I come out and I don't even go anywhere. In that same position, I jump like this. Daniel lobs. No, I don't. I of course, by making a star jump is allowed. So I do the star jump. And then Daniel runs straight into me.
He's making a star jump.
I'm just saying, so I'm asking, if Daniel runs into me, If he runs into me, would you give a penalty?
Depends on the angle he runs into you at. And I'm explaining.
Okay, if he runs straight,
if it's straight head on, I won't give a penalty.
Okay, so what if he goes through my? I've already extended myself, and he goes either side of me.
If it's either side of you, I'll give a penalty. And that's my point. Because once you are spreading your body, it's an unnatural obstruction. Or you don't understand what my point I'm making. Do you understand? It's an unnatural obstruction.
This is not either side.
He falls over his leg.
No, this is not either side. His body continued in the same momentum, in the same direction.
But he's trying to go around him.
He can't even be trying to go around him. Because if he was, the body would have taken a different direction. But watch it. Once he lobbed it, he kept on going there.
He goes either side. Look, and that's my point. He has spread his body as wide as possible. And once you spread your body as wide as possible, what do you expect the referee to think as the person is right?
Look at the
angle.
Look at the angle.
Alvarez. You're basically trying to do as much as you can to stop him from going.
Okay, but so then it means you have to also. That is why I kind of agree with Daniel that maybe in such case the referee, because if I know that as an attacker, if I know there's an advantage for me when I'm trying to go around the goalkeeper, all I do is I hit the ball and
just
look for the extended leg and then hit that and fall over.
But we see players do it all the time and penalties are given. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're acting like we've never seen this penalty before.
You see,
I have seen that.
That's my point.
I don't like this line of argument.
What do you mean this line of
argument is being done, so it is right? No. The fact that it was done then or it's being done doesn't mean it's right.
That's what I'm saying. Players, we are doing this all the time. And because it's this one, you're like, no, it's not. No, that's my thing about it.
Per this premise and per this precedent we are setting, let's not come back and discuss any refereeing decision. Because first of all, it has been done before. Second of all, there are 3 referees in the VR who have watched it. So who am I to argue about it? So from today to the final, it's unfortunate that we have just 3 more games left. Let's not discuss refereeing decisions because everything they do is right.
I think we'll discuss refereeing.
I didn't say that.
Okay,
that's what you are saying.
That's not. That's what you are putting words in my mouth.
You are saying there are 3 referees there who have looked at it. So why should this?
And that's my point. You spread your body to obstruct. Who is going to look at that and say, oh, Livaković was just there.
VR is there. That's why VR is there. Okay, because
you said that's why VR is there. VR has looked at it and said there's no need for the referee to come. So what do you want him to do?
So let's move.
You want him to go and look at the monitor of his own violation.
Ghana penalty versus Portugal was a good decision. But VR looked at it and told the referee not to come.
So that's all. We have to live with it. Did I say that was a good decision?
Let's move it on.
So you're not answering the question whether it's a right decision or not.
I said that.
Saying it is
I
done.
said 9 times out of 10, this penalty is
okay,
so for me, if it was 10 times, 1 out of 10, I would more question it that way. That's how I see it.
The fact that it's been given over time, we won't really
I don't see the point of arguing over something that's always done. That's my key point here. Let me start with that. And secondly, when I look at it, the fact that he spread his body alone, it makes it harder for the referee to say you ran into him.
He won't give it. Okay.
Because if you are standing straight and someone runs into you, what the referee is going to say, he was standing straight.
This applies to
defenders.
It doesn't apply to
Why doesn't it apply to a keeper?
A goalkeeper in his box. You see, it's bound to.
There is no rule that a goalkeeper in his box is treated differently than a player. You are making that up. There's no rule like that.
When a goalkeeper goes for those, when he's in his area and he comes out.
Because he's the only person who can use his arm. So if a player jumps,
they are protected in their box. They are not like there's no rule.
They are not. In a situation like this, there's no rule that makes a keeper different from a player. Unless you are saying that if you have touched the ball with his hands and he gave a penalty. That's the only way that you can see. That's the only difference. That if you had stopped it with his hand, that's the only difference in this situation from a player.
Okay, let's move it on. It looks like, I'm sure the debate at the stadium was also quite huge and probably among the referees. So Argentina go on.